Okay, a bit of a deserty map. Not surprising.
Yeah, I don't know if this is based off a game and they just named it differently, or a map that I just don't know. Or it's a new map and STARBOW's experimenting.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out as we get into this one. Beastyqt is, of course, leading the series 1-0 currently, guys, and it is not a best of 5 as many of us thought. Even Beasty thought it was a best of 5, but it is, in fact, a best of 3. So my apologies on the misinformation about that. It was not intentional, of course, but this is, regardless, the finals of the first ever STARBOW tournament brought to you by Beastyqt. Well, casting brought to you by Beastyqt TV, but, of course, the tournament organized by ESL, the wonderful people that they are. Spawning in the top right corner of the map, though, it's the purple Zerg player, Hesusa, who, again, I'm super sorry if that name is being said wrong.
And in the bottom left is the yellow Terran, Beastyqt.
Guy who's definitely got the mechanics of this game figured out. As far as strategy goes, there's like a good chance you could just be winning with some luck and YOLO, but I think for the most part, like, a lot of his Brood War memories are sort of kind of that nostalgia kicking in, remembering how to ride that bicycle. We saw him use vultures to really cool extent earlier in the day. That last game was just, God, Hesusa almost won that, but it was really cool to watch. I gotta tell you, honestly, more so than winning, I just want to see more entertainment come out of this. The potential of, like, with all these new units and all these new spells that people aren't aware of or aware how to counter. I mean, like, Dark Swarm last game, Zombie Grub, how insane was that?
I swear to you, if Brood War was actually recreated today, you know, when it was actually StarCraft 2, people would say Dark Swarm was OP. They'd say it was OP shit.
They got rid of the force fields and they gave Dark Swarm to Zerg instead.
I swear, like, if literally if they ported Brood War on a StarCraft 2 engine, they'd be like, you know, remove Dark Swarm, it's too broken. I feel like people, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say I feel like a lot of people complain too much, and I think they would have complained about that.
Well, Joan gonna poke away at the SCV building the command center. We're not going to go over too much of the basics because at this point it's the finals, and I hope you guys have tuned in for the majority of today. But one really cool thing here is, of course, ooh, actually, hold on, what did he put there? Oh, Barracks. Sorry, I thought this was going somewhere else. One really cool thing to mention is, of course, you know, you can lose an SCV early on, and it's annoying like just any other matchup, but there are no mules in the game, and what the Orbital Command Center does do is call down an SCV outright. It just basically insta-builds an SCV for you, essentially. So what is kind of nice is, like, as a Terran player, you know, what are the hardest things in StarCraft 2 right now in all aspects? It's your production, right? So they give you things like free mules in StarCraft 2 or like the reactors and what have you. But in this iteration of the game, it's a little bit more closer to Protoss as far as production goes. You don't get nearly as screwed when your production line is camped upon, which I think is really cool. I really like that aspect, being a Terran player and all.
Yeah. Well, Protoss is more like Terran, right? Like, you actually have to produce out of your gateways. So if your production gets camped, then Protoss is also finally a little bit screwed.
Yeah, it's weird how much they nerfed warp tech, like to the point where, like, even Crank and others, like, who are the not just like the seasoned StarCraft 2 veterans, but the seasoned like STARBOW veterans don't really take it that much. But of course,
it's just, you know, I feel like what's going to happen is that they might buff it a little, just a little somehow, and then you'll only have like 2 backup gateways as warp gate, so that you can warp in emergencies, you know, at a base that's being attacked or as a wall off.
That would be cool, yeah. But unfortunately, Protoss is not here in this matchup, so we're not going to get to go too in depth about that. What I do want to see out of Hesusa, though, is some roaches really badly. We saw roach play used earlier today. It was really cool, and that burrow move is so slick and so fast.
Yeah, it is. We do have factors on the way for Beastyqt, so he's going to go back into that mech play. Could be the same Vulture Harass as before. Very good opener for mech, I feel. The Marines will go ahead and stay off this little push from the Lings. We have a third taken at a close third, guess.
Air quotes. I mean, there's no real close thirds, but yeah, no, exactly. I don't think this is a map too. Like, it's in terms of that last map, it's kind of like a 4-player map versus a 2-player map, right? Like, BC's not gonna get away with a huge corner of the map undiscovered, and I don't think Hesusa's gonna get away with that ninja base once again.
Well, he's not trying for it, that's for sure.
Oh,
I really want this game to go past 20 minutes. I really do, and not just because someone doesn't want to kill someone else, but like, you know, constant. Because I have seen games like played by Crank and stuff like that where it does show multiple battles everywhere, multiple drops everywhere, and, you know, not one person's necessarily really ahead.
I really like the ion thrusters coming out before the spider mines. For those who don't know, vultures are kind of already made to be like a counter zergling type unit, but once you give them speed, they're like impossible to deal with without hydralisks or some sort of assistance. Ion boosters is basically metabolic boost, but for the vulture.
Yeah.
And
Plus, if you're gonna harass with vultures, because they're worker killers, right? I mean, they're link killers too, but really they're worker killers.
The
so,
low HP
you know,
unit killers.
You don't need a mine. You don't need mines for that. As we said before, mines aren't triggered. They don't trigger the spider mines. So, ion thrusters, of course, would be the one to choose. It does go to the third. 2 links try and pop out and save the day, but that's not gonna happen. We have Hydralisk on the way, so this will definitely save Quace's drone line.
How did that not kill the drone? Isn't it 40 damage?
I don't know.
Okay, not a big deal.
Can't see it.
Well, two attacks went off, and I was still able to build the spine crawler. Is what I was curious about. Because drones have 40 health, right? Like I'm not crazy. Yeah, 40 health, 20 damage, no armor. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Cool. Anyways, here in the middle of the map, Hydras, of course, a little bit harder to deal with. They don't have the low health count that Lings do, but of course, when you've got a low Hydra, again, look at that 1 health. What's these saving rolls here in StarCraft 2? I guess that must be like the regen ticking at just the right moment.
That might be it, right? Like,
I don't know. Anyways, the Spire on the way to follow this up too, but the Vultures have got to be dealt with. The Hydras are going to have no problem trying to deal with this if they get a fight head on in huge numbers, but it's low numbers versus Vultures, which again, as we see with the Ion Thrusters, so freaking fast.
By the way, creep spread still gives you vision with the creep tumors, but it does not give you a speed boost.
Oh, I did not know that. That is really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure about that.
Oh no, Winter! Don't like Winter's like one of the other people who've been casting STARBOW a lot. He did a whole King of the Hill tournament for like 9 hours or something insane like that just the other day.
They heal faster on creep, but they don't move faster.
Do they heal on creep? That might explain the +1 then.
That probably does. Actually, I read the tooltip and that's what the bonus was, so.
Cool. You of course don't get any health regen in StarCraft 2 creep, but Hydralisk gonna deal with this. Are not having a fun time at all. Vultures, of course, are just trying to kite them around, but there's not enough left at this point to really be that big of a threat.
I just say how kind of refreshing it is to be a caster and say like, oh, I don't know, let me check.
I know, like not worried about getting
everyone.
chastised. Like, well, this stupid girl doesn't know anything about StarCraft. I know that is like one of the really nice things about this too, because we can have some fun with the cast as well, guys. It's not as stressful for us. We don't have to worry about being well. I mean, we want to be right, of course. We don't have to worry about being right or nothing else. Charon booster's on the way, so it increases the range of the Goliath missiles, but I don't know if that's going to come into big swing just yet. I mean, Mutalisks are on the way, but Goliaths are not the fastest or the fastest. You know, I guess fastiest could be a word, maybe. I don't know. But they're not the fastest units, so responding isn't going to be the easiest thing. So BC does have a ton of turrets coming down in lieu of this. But, of course, if they do get in range of the Goliaths, it will be a problem for those mutas. Nice tanks positioning.
Yeah, very good tank positioning. So they found a little spot right here, and I feel like the SCV pool may have been a little overzealous, but that's okay. The mutas are finally out. They're going across the map. They're going to the main base on the right side. They pull back. That's always happened. Where are you pulling back to?
This is what I was talking about, by the way. If you zoom in on the Goliaths real quick, you can see like they have different things. Like they're unique, which is kind of cool. Like some have flames to make them walk faster, clearly. Another one has like this, I don't know, pinstripes. Some will have like the jaws on them, like these ones coming out of the factory now.
Yeah.
Just kind of a cool little thing. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something I noticed when I was playing. I like the small. It's the small thing. Like, I mean, was it Ryan Shutter's working on putting like team decals and logos on units too by design? Like, it might not seem like a big deal, but realistically, for people like me, it's like the cool factor.
Decals just sounds like a clown name.
Or sorry, decals for the Americans. Whatever.
I know.
I'm sorry that I'm saying it. Like
should be.
Spider-Mine's on the way. USA. Spider-Mine's on the way here are going to be really cool. Of course, once you start making those minefields, it becomes a little bit less easy for Hesusa to navigate. Of course, they are not Widow Mines. They cannot shoot upwards, guys, so they're not nearly as deadly as their StarCraft 2 counterparts, I guess you could call them. It's weird to say StarCraft 2 counter. This is still StarCraft 2, but the normal mode, I guess.
Yeah. Muta's doing some pretty nice damage. Again, the Goliaths aren't necessarily they're not really great. Like you kind of expect, because you watch StarCraft 2 so much, for them to be like the worst. You're like, oh my god, don't clump up. But as you can see, it's not so bad.
No, but of course the giant advantage of Goliaths are they're a little bit better as far as that in between factor, being able to shoot ground and air a little more effectively than Thor's can, but still. Tanks being picked off, and Mutalist will get out of here alive. Hydulus waiting for a good chance to push in, or a good chance to push in, but Spider-Mine's not quite done yet. Not going to have those minefields. Tanks will keep these at bay, though.
Well, Hesusa has to make sure to get that Overseer and the Overseer speed, because they're so slow. Like, if he does it and he walks into a minefield, that could be terrible. Of course, they can shoot down the Spider Mines before they hit, but not against, like 20.
Well, Goliaths are trying to do what they can. We see so many Mutals here just barely getting away with no health. This is where Beasty's like, man, I wish I hadn't irradiate really badly. We got a Viper Nest coming up next. Now, I don't know if Vipers still have the Abduct or the Blinding Cloud features. Again, I spoke a little bit about how they've got that one really cool new ability that's like this huge splash bomb. But we'll find out once they get made, of course. We got dropships coming out. Now, you guys might not know this. You have to actually research tech to lift up a siege tank. You cannot just lift up a siege tank with a dropship.
No, you can lift it up while it's sieged.
Or while it's sieged. Sorry, my mistake. Then
you can always lift up a siege tank while it's unsieged.
I misread the tooltip when I saw that then. My bad.
Yeah. Well, that just makes it really cool now, doesn't it? Like.
Yeah, that hot pickup really comes into much more effect, I guess you could call it. But looking to invest heavily here in the air. We got level 2 Carapace coming up in a moment's time. And, we haven't seen them at all today. I'd love to see these Mutalists evolve into something, Zombie Grub.
It's such a... Again, a lot of these players are trying to stick to whatever they know, and that would be knowing that Guardians has really fallen out of favor in Brood War. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to know if they make that same, like, roof, roof sort of sound.
Roof, roof. Oh, that's right, they did do that. That was the weirdest sound. I wonder where they got that.
Was.
Seriously, the Foley guys are, like, brilliant.
Yo, you guys like that impression? 3 vultures about to unload here and towards the main, and of course really great at sniping off workers, but with no effect from the spider mines. We'll just have to rely on hit and run capabilities. Still a huge flock of Mutalists patrolling around the middle of the map. Definitely going to keep Beastyqt stuck in these 3 bases for now, but the vultures do get up here, and looks like a quick response will shut these down rather promptly.
I'm surprised they didn't try and lay any spider mines, because they obviously go off on the Hydralisks.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't think of it, and he should be laying down more spider mines as the game goes on. As you can see, there's already one at the front. Playing pretty conservative right now, Beastyqt is. He should be pushing up pretty soon. Hesusa has chosen, just to go for pretty much Hydralisk, like pure Hydralisk. He still has the Mutas from initially, but he's not like really investing a whole lot more into it. He's getting those pneumatized Carapace, so that's good to see. Oh, and that Defiling Mound is finally coming down.
There's a lot of vultures in production right now, and of course, guys, they only cost resources, and the great aspect is putting down these minefields, allowing you to creep forward a little more safely and get that map vision, but still has to deal with these Mutalists. So many of them are going to be a problem to deal with, but constant drop harass, with the vultures, again, like these cannot detonate on workers. Splash damage will affect them, they're not immune to them, but as we see, they can only really target the Hydralisks. Oh. Never mind. Let's get excited here if that one was going to go off, but it did not. So for Beastyqt, we took a quick look at his vision, guys. Spider-Man still provide a lot of vision, but it's still that map vision, knowing where your opponent is or isn't. I didn't even realize these 2 vultures up on the high ground here from the main have sniped off almost every worker from that 4th base location.
That was really nice use of that little high ground edge. I feel like in Brood War and I guess STARBOW, the high ground is used more. Like, not only is there better defense for it, but there's also, like, little more edges on the maps where you can do stuff like that.
Sorry, I looked at the chat. We got the Franker's face for the roof sound effects. Ultra Scavern is on the way, and Mutalists are going to try and get on top of this. They will take those tanks immediately, and the Goliaths, as we can see, are just not that sturdy anti-air that Marines, that turrets, that irradiate is. Tanks are going to fall to this, too, and that's really unfortunate. Science Vessels are on standby, but, I don't believe Irradiate's been researched. I don't think he realized this.
Oh, yeah, okay, he just starts it, so yeah. They still have something that's pretty cool. They have a spell.
Nerve jam.
Yeah, it's like what you're talking about with something else, I believe, where it actually...
it's ground units only, though.
Yeah, it takes away damage from them, right? So damage dealt by ground units in the area is reduced by 75%.
Loving this minefield that's been set up, and the vultures, of course, They're kind of at that really numerous amount. If you guys have ever played like Desert Strike or any of those sort of like tug-of-war maps, you know how good vultures can be against like, you know, Hydralisks in low count or the Defilers if they're caught off guard. But for now, just setting up a massive minefield here to the south. This will be the best area for Beastie to try and engage in, but we do see the Hydralisks clearing most of them out before they even get to go off, sadly.
This is a problem, I feel.
Oh, he sneaks
just
past?
for the player.
Oh, he gets past the multiple bases. Vultures can clean out this lower right base. He can clean out the natural base. He scouts the skirmishes too. He now knows his science vessels are no longer safe. But Hesusa responds appropriately by splitting his own forces. Still, lots of workers do fall behind this.
Yep. 59 so far for Beastyqt have gone down. It actually makes it a full 60, just cause. And unfortunately, Hesusa will have to, of course, replenish that. But I was going to talk about the spider mines. You can see the spider mines. They actually are. They look like units on the map. It's really difficult to tell what is what, especially when it gets more, you know, where units are everywhere as the game goes on. You're like trying to box spider mines. You're like, ah, darn it.
We have Plague finishing up in a moment, guys. So we may get to see some cool things. Again, this is an ability that brings units down to 1 health. It can't kill them, I guess, but we'll bring them low. I imagine if I don't know if it affects buildings or not. You said it doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It deals 200 damage. So if that, you know, if something has more than 200 damage, and that's what it does. But if it's less, then it only brings down the 1 health. Like
okay. I was gonna say if it could, then buildings would burn down, and that 1 health would be irrelevant. But vengeful sacks on the way here, so we're gonna have some kiting going off the the spider mines. Yeah, it looks like they've been forgotten about at this point. So a couple Lings and Ultras get taken out by this. Hydra still on the front lines. No lurkers, curiously enough, this game. I mean, you don't need a lot of them to win, but like having a couple buffering with the Hydras can be really good to kite backwards on top of. But BC set up this really defensive line. The Defilers, of course, can use Dark Swarm at any given time. Plague has been research confirmed, guys. Does he use it, though?
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to actually push in. I guess he's going to try and get rid of the Science Vessels first, but it's
that looks to be the case.
It just, I mean, look at this. Oh, God, look at the line is set up. Jeez.
BC's just looking on top. He's got, between the spider mines and the turrets and the siege tanks, like, it's weird to consider that he's still not maxed out just yet.
Guardians!
Oh,
you gotta be kidding me. Seriously,
Guardians are on the way! So, okay. Real talk, guys. I don't know if these are much different than the Brood War Guardians, but of course, one of the biggest advantages Guardians have is their massive range. So, being able to try and deal with, like, siege tanks from afar or Goliaths without engaging or even the missile turrets might be what he's thinking about while he hatches these.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I want to hear the sound.
Rock lobster.
The sound.
The attack sound they had too in Brood War I remember being really weird too. It's kind of like this really soft attack. But Vultures on the high ground once again preying on the workers here. He's getting probably a bit frustrated by Beastyqt's harass, wondering how he's even able to keep it up, but okay, the Vultures will live for another moment.
When is the pushing gonna happen? It's honestly what I'm waiting for. He has a pretty good army, and with Dark Swarm, like, suddenly, this, honestly, it looks really impressive, and I guess it is really impressive, but sometimes in Brood War, it just looks suddenly unimpressive with good Dark Swarms.
Yeah, in Zerg, you know, they don't have that same capability for an insane remax. We don't see a ton of queens all over the place because injects aren't the same they were. Like, there's a lot of macro hatcheries, sure, but it's not like having 19 larvae available at each hatchery and making like 80 lings right off the bat. Now, these Overlords full of Hydras are kind of cool. I like this idea, but there's so many turrets, I don't think it's going to be too easy to get past them.
I like this idea. I really like this idea. It's it might not work too effectively, but I think it's really cool that he's trying to branch out. We do see that Beastyqt is moving along, bringing us some SCVs, I guess, to help repair should the time come. And
the Scourges are being taken out.
Science vessels.
The Scourges are taken out before they can even connect. But the Plague goes off on top of all the Science Vessels, so these will be brought very low on health. Dark Swarm's going to allow this army to push forward, and the Guardian's coming from behind. Irradiate goes down. Oh no, he's got a split.
So many Defilers went down, and all the Guardians get irradiated.
Oh my god. Beastyqt just took such a nice engagement. He calls down some SCVs, not out of manner, but in the necessity to repair, as each of these Science Vessels has 1 HP for the win. But getting those repairs off. Drop in the main did go down, but we'll see how much this can do. I'm a little bit, I don't know. Hydralisks are not exactly the craziest things to have to deal with in the world, but the damage is getting done, and BC is struggling to respond. Some vultures are trying to set up some spider mines. It looks like, yeah, he's going to call down the overcharge to make the factories crank out the siege tanks just a little bit faster.
Yeah, that might be enough vultures. Yeah, vultureless.
Vultureless.
So, that's terrifying.
They'll
he does clean it up, but this is only just a little bit for it. So Ling counterattack is going to be destroyed.
Oh god. The spider might take forever to attach, but once they do, you know, you're in for some trouble. Top right corner of the base is going to be driven away, or top left, sorry, is going to be driven away. But it looks like these science vessels have been fully repaired up at this point. And of course, let's not forget they've got plenty more radiates where this came from. So I don't think Beasty's in a lot of danger right now. Radiate is seriously one of like the best skills to have versus a Zerg player. Clumped up Mutalisk, non-clumped up Zerglings, doesn't matter. It's going to kill units. Bottom line. Mutalisk trying to stay on top of the science vessels, but it does not affect mechanical units, guys. It radiates friendly fires on top of biological only. And we see the Mutalisk pop off because of this.
Very unfortunate. That one attack, guys, it maybe looked a little overpowered for Beastyqt, but I feel like Hesusa just messed up a lot on that control. There's so many new things you have to keep control of, and you have to find new hotkeys where suddenly you only had 3, now you have 6. It is difficult, but Beastyqt is in a pretty good position because of it.
Spider mines are trying to go off, but most of the Lings are dead before any of them do. Plague does go down once more on top of this giant science vessel clump. A little bit scary, but it just got to pull back and repair if you can. Not a lot of anti-air here, so no real danger to have these sniped off. And the planetary fortress has not been activated yet. It has to be activated, guys. It does not auto-attack anymore. Not that it would matter because the Dark Swarm is preventing any damage from happening.
Very good Dark Swarm right there.
This is a great engagement. This is, if he gets those science vessels with Hydralisks, he could win this game. I mean, this is the core of Beasty's army, is these science vessels more than anything else. Everything else has been so spread out through harassment, through hits. Beasty's supply is not much higher than that of Hesusa's. And the Mutalisk! Oh, the Glaive Worms! The splash damage and a Radiate goes down, but so many science vessels fall right away. A couple of siege tanks will siege up. Maybe Hesusa has found his way back into this match.
We got some workers going to take out a hatchery, I guess. Oh my god, they are going to try and take out that hatchery.
Lings are going to try and stop that from happening, though. Beasty, of course, can call down more workers if necessary, so losing SCVs is not the end of the world, but looks like he is going to hold the line for now, and Hesusa needs to really just garner up his forces and go for, like, a big regroup, because he can't deal with what Beasty has right now. He's got like, tier 1 units aren't going to deal with it.
Everyone says that, you know, calling down mules after you lose a bunch of workers in a scenario like this is OP, but now that I think about it, calling down SCVs seems a little more...
They're permanent.
They seem really, really powerful. They're permanent.
Yeah.
And they don't mine as fast or whatever, but... permanent SCVs, you lose 60 SCVs and you get 60 back. I mean, that's a little too much, but still.
And it's instantaneous, which is what's really key there too, right? Like, it's not like you gotta build it up and wait for like 9 rounds to finish up, but you know, I feel like what's left of the game here for Hesusa is like, I don't know, he's not gonna starve Beasty out anytime soon. Beasty's got a massive bank and he's still mining off of 2 bases.
Is he? He's only mining off of 1.
Oh, I didn't realize this one was, sorry. The SUV's just chilling. I thought that one was still mining.
So this is looking kind of dangerous for Beastyqt.
It really
They
is.
both still have a very good bank. Beastyqt has a really good bank with 2,000 gas as well. So he's not, he's not too starved for producing, but his production structures look to be a little on the low side. Yeah, he's only up to 5 factories.
Well, top left is finally going to go down by the looks of things. Yep.
Hesusa's still on 3 base mining.
Oh, zombie up! There's a doom drop loading up down here.
Oh, this is perfect. This
is
great. He's gonna get on top of the production, and so little production there is. There are. Oh my God, these spider mines. This is exactly what you need to do when they know that you are going to be going for a doom drop.
Some say it costs minerals to call it an SUV. It does. I didn't know that. I thought the SUV was free. So
wait, really?
It's 25 energy and 50 minerals called on an SUV.
Hey, I didn't even see that.
I thought it was free.
The entire time.
I know, like, your economy's so good you don't even think about it. But okay, thank you whoever that was in chat for bringing up that knowledge bomb. BC still harassing around the map, and this is kind of Hesusa's like final, like, this is his final show. He's got to make something happen with this. He's going to float over top of the spider mines with this army, which is fantastic. And the overlords aren't exactly in a huge threat because there's not an insane amount of anti-air here for Beasty, but... Oh no, why is he unloading here? He's unloading into the spider mines, Hesusa!
He didn't have any vision, he didn't have any detection.
Oh no! Oh no! He just lost his army and then some. Now down to half the supply that of Beastyqt, and without the production... Sorry, he's got the production, he doesn't have the income to max out. This is looking really bad for a Zerg player. Especially when you're down 1 in a best of 3 and what we thought was originally a best of 5.
This is terrible.
You know,
his economy's
that-
still not that bad though.
You know, that brought a whole new phrase to Death Ball. I just want to throw that out there. Freaking Hydrals and Circlings, man. Oh no. Well, Guardians are gonna come out. Maybe you can start allowing to push a little bit, but he's just got no way to respond to Beastie's Vulture Harass. There's so many of them, and we just see Spider Mines littering the map.
You can no longer protect his bases. You know, you need maybe like lurkers on the ramp, and then that would deal with it. But he doesn't have them. Doesn't actually invested at all in the lurkers, I believe. So that's not gonna happen. Drone line gets actually. Oh god, 118 workers have been killed from Beastyqt.
Oh man, triple digits. Not something you see too often, but that's the name of the game. Siege Tank line is looking a little too strong, and even with the Guardians coming here on the front lines, how much do these guys get for? A whopping 27. Missile turrets are going to slowly go down, but Irradiate's gone off, and there's no way to cleanse this, so the Guardians are unfortunately going to die. One last giant hurrah with a Dark Swarm to try and allow these Hydralisks in, but it looks like even that will not quite be enough. Everything here just not going well for our purple guy. I think with this last bit of army dissipating, this might just be the GG that BC's been waiting for.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
irradiate those overlords. Oh, he's gonna do it.
And he does. I mean, at this point, I don't even know. There's just nothing else that he can really do. Theoretically, you know, it'd be a little more balanced because he had production, he had economy, but he's neither of those things. So coming back to this, he's got like a couple mutalisks stubbornly trying to kill vultures, but I mean, good luck with that. STARBOW has definitely been an interesting mod, guys, and some closing remarks here in this final game. It's just that I think it's fun. Like, there's nothing that even needs to be discussed beyond that. Like, you know, hype, anti-hype, freaking esports or not. Like, this was fun to watch this entire day. It was a nice break from StarCraft 2, and while it might not need to be a regular thing, I personally, I'm kind of glad we decided to give STARBOW a chance here.
Yeah. Oh, well, the fun is winding down, I guess.
Yeah, this is like that anticlimactic, like, beastie waiting for this guy to leave, but...
Oh, the spider mines! Oh.
Gets a couple good hits, and unfortunately the siege tanks are going to clean up the rest of these. If they retreat up north, they may run into more spider mines, though. It looks like just barely out of range. Whoa, there we go. Oh, the fortifilers are unfortunately going to get smacked upon. The radius going to clean this up too. More spider mines are arming to go off while this happens. Good game. Finally, Beastie will take the finals 2-0, guys. I don't believe he dropped a single map today, and most importantly, he is the first ever tournament STARBOW winner. Woo! Yeah, coming out of retirement for a good, a nice hurrah.